Are black men uniquely defective? That's a question worth thinking about. On the surface, it may seem ridiculous, but as a continuation of last week's conversation on Mindset Monday about are black women uniquely defective, I think it's fitting we talk about men too. Welcome back to yet another episode of the Black Healing Matters podcast. This is Danielle, of course, your host, and this is a podcast where we offer you ideas to hopefully move you one step closer to your healing. And yes, today we're talking about this question: are black men uniquely defective? But first, I'd like to get into some of the listeners' call-ins from last week about are black women uniquely defective? And I think these two call-ins that I'm going to play are actually very poignant and lead us right back to today's question about black men. So check out and listen to Kelly D's from the Embrace Black podcast and her take on what is actually the problem when it comes to black women.
Danielle, girl, this is Kelly D's from Embrace Black podcast. I have been trying to record this voice message to you for 3 days. I kid you not. I have been trying, or at least 2 days. I think I tried twice yesterday, but for some reason, girl, I've been wanting to answer this question about the defective black women, and my answer, I'm gonna keep it under 2 minutes. I've done like a 1 minute one to you and then like a 5 minute, and I was like, I gotta get in the middle. So Danielle, first things first, HE to the double hockey sticks. No, we are not defective. What is effective is defective is American culture in the way that they have destroyed and divided the essence of the black family and the importance and necessity of having the black man and black woman be a conducive unit. They have literally tried since the beginning of bringing our ancestors over to this country for their own personal profit to completely destroy and disintegrate the glue that holds black people together as a family. And that involved, taking it upon themselves to destroy up families during slavery, in the form of selling off, children and wives and fathers. And, now they flipped into modern times by, putting our men in jails and making it so that our women, instead of being, providers and nurturers, had to go out and be, providers in the sense of bringing in the cash flow, which meant that they were head of household, making decisions that, would socially be seen as a decision made by the man in the relationship. And they've just destroyed the essence of what it means to be a functional and thriving black family. And instead of being mindful of that and recognizing that, I think black men and black women, because we're both held accountable, have decided, that in instances where you encounter such things that you encountered, granted, you did a wonderful job of the way that you approached it. But you just got that poise, Danielle. You just got that poise. But some women don't know how to do it. They get offended and they get in their feelings instead of being logical about it and trying to really sit down and think and talk to this black man about why they may or may not feel this way, or why these stereotypes don't bother them when they're talking about their black women, because every black man has a black mother. So essentially, if somebody's talking about a black woman in the streets, they could be talking about your mother as well. So it's like, when do we stop and start taking up for one another consistently every time that this comes out, that these stereotypes come out as it relates to black women and to black men? So that's all I wanted to say, Danielle. Thank you so much. I love Black Healing Matters. I've been a fan and a supporter of your podcast since day one. And I'm so thankful that you also support this Embrace Black podcast. Kelly D's is rocking with you, girl. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I do hope that you had a safe flight back to Korea. Much love.
And all I gotta say to that, Kelly D's, is yes, yes. Because there's so much truth in what you just said. And I appreciate you for bringing it to light. Now, the next caller, Mr. E, from the He Says, She Says podcast, brings it on home. Listen to what he has to say.
Well, good morning, Black Healing. This is Mr. E from the He Says, She Says with Anita Loves to Hate to Hate. I just want to chime in on this. If the black woman is uniquely defective, then all the black race is uniquely defective because that's where we all come from, a black woman. But I think your friend is an idiot because no black woman has ever made it hard for me to prosper in my career. On the other hand, I have had people of the other race have, but I think black women ought to be held high because of the things that they have to go through, the things that they have to fight for. So if they're defective, then we all as black people are defective. Have a great.
Yes, Mr. E, appreciate those words because I have to agree with you. Makes a lot of sense. If the black woman is defective, then where does that leave all of us, you know? But that leads very well into our topic and our question for today. Is the black man then uniquely defective? And, this stems from the idea that as men, of course, the traditional role of a man is to protect and provide, right? However, we know that the image that is so often portrayed of black men is not that of protectors and providers. Many times what we see and what we hear on television, like for example, I think I was watching a comedy show on MTV, I believe it is, last week. And they made a joke about the guy making a baby and leaving the girl and not paying child support. And at that moment, that joke, I realized, would not have been funny if the man wasn't black. Because we don't have those notions about other men. When you talk about other races of men paying child support or not taking care of their children, it's almost never heard of, you know? When have you ever heard of white, Asian, Middle Eastern men not taking care of their families, not protecting and providing for them? But that is a common narrative for black men. And so, again, it comes back to this question: are black men uniquely defective? Now, obviously, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. However, I think there has been a very consistent and deliberate attack on the black man's ability to protect and provide for his family. And in that capacity, it has weakened the black man and the image of the black man, especially in America. And unfortunately, the image that America provides is the image that most of the world sees and adheres to. And so I pose this question to you, Black Healing Matters family. What do you think? Are black men uniquely defective? And as black people, what can we do to debunk and tear down this stereotype, not just within those outside of our race, but first and most importantly, within ourselves. Because this stereotype of Black men being defective, it definitely exists. Just like the stereotype of Black women being defective definitely exists. And it must first be eradicated in us if we're ever going to set the record straight. All right. And on that note, Black Healing Matters family, I love you. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a good Monday. Please do call in response to this question. Connect with me either here on Anchor, send me a call in, or again on Facebook, Black Healing Matters, as well as YouTube and SoundCloud. I'm all over the place. And on that note, stay blessed. And as always, Black Healing Matters.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.